Well, we're about to start into some legal stuff here, as far as some definitions and some criteria, I think maybe would be a good term. What we're going to talk about in Module 6 is all the communications that we've discussed up to this point have legal implications.
Correct.
So what we're going to talk about today is the professionalism of what you're doing and how you're doing it. And we're going to talk about the ethics and about how we're doing that. So this becomes more of a how-to, and we're going to get into the what kind of issue in another class that we're going to be developing shortly on project documentation. So we're going to get into some real depth at that point. But this particular module just is going to get the surface of the legality of our documentation or how we write this stuff, so that we can make sure that we are truly on the right track with how we write our communication. Did I say that right?
And if I could interject, it's really, we're getting into means and methods at this point. You know, we've learned how to write a letter, we've learned how to do an email, we've learned how to do verbal communication.
And we've got
all of these processes.
We've got our professionalism in.
Right.
And we've lifted that standard. We've also talked about the active versus passive. So
roles,
that we know how to do this stuff now.
Right. And really what we're trying to do in this Module 6 is open your eyes to the fact that everything we've just gone through is in effect actually helping you on the legal side. Yeah. And even though we're not going to dig into the legal parts today because there's so much more we need to get through, it's just letting you realize that there are certain things that you've just learned that as you get better and better are going to help you protect your company and your project as you go on in time.
Bob, just as a point, Bob and I spent many years as project engineers and many more years as project managers. We understand the legal ramifications of our communication. And it took us some trials and errors to learn this.
Oh, yeah, and it's expensive lessons.
We made some serious mistakes along the way. And what we're attempting to do here, and believe that we'll accomplish this, is to help you to stay out of the minefields, or at least to know where the mines are at.
Exactly.
So,
and as you open your eyes, we're going to start looking at understanding the importance of communication to discuss to actually go through the events of the project. Because as you're writing all these letters and all your RFIs and your ASIs, you're establishing a project record. And that's through documentation. And while we called it communication through modules 1 through 5, everything that we communicate becomes documentation. Except with the one fact that while you can go out and talk to somebody, the question is, will he remember it the same way, or does he get a case of selective amnesia that morning?
This brings us into the first point of basically verbal conversations and how you record that with.
How do you follow up with that written word?
Yeah.
And that's a soft skill, but it's one of those things you really need to think about. If you're even a little bit nervous about, hey, this guy told me to go do this, you easily follow it up with an email confirming our conversation today. We have now mobilized these guys.
Now, we took that back in Module 2. You went through that scenario with regard to, so here we're making it to the point where this becomes a legal issue or a binding issue, if you will.
Right.
We don't necessarily like to use the term legal from that end of it, but it becomes binding on what you do because your emails or your letters or all your written communication is a part of the project document record.
Yeah, and this is important because as project engineers and as managers, we've been around some legal stuff, but that doesn't mean we're attorneys.
That's right.
And what we're sitting here telling you today is not like we're a bunch of attorneys telling you the right way to do this. We're only telling you that these are good ways to protect you and your company in the process of your work, so that you, if you do get into a bad situation, you have a way out of it. And typically, you don't get into a bad situation just because you don't want to get into one. So typically, you try and avoid them. So it usually comes to you, not the other way around. You didn't create it; it came to you. So we're really just trying to get it to where you can protect yourself against the events that may come in a project that impact you and cost you money. And if we go back to the whole money issue, and I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, but everything that we do is has to do with time and money, and the things that we do cost time and money, and the things that we don't do cost time and money. So one of the issues that we need to address early on is, what does your company's standard policy with regard to document, as far as what does it do for emails? There is a policy on your emails.
And we're really talking about retention. How long, where are the documents being stored? Are they being stored for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years past the end of the life of the job?
Do you have
control? You need to know all that stuff, because, I've even seen jobs where every 3 months they purge the emails. Well, guess what? You're trying to go back and do a research project on something that happened 6 months ago. You can't do it because you can't find the emails that you wrote 6 months later. So these are all very important things for you as project engineers to understand. It's kind of like the rules of the road when you get on that job site.
Yeah. Do you know what your company policy is for saving documents on a job site or through the server at the main office, rather than just having them be deleted by the IT every 3 months?
Right, and some of you guys may have large IT departments, and some of you may not, and you're running a server on your own job site. So what happens if that thing craters?
That's right.
These are all important, very, very important things.
Do you have a backup system, and where is it?
And we can laugh now because Hillary Clinton's having the hardest time with the emails, because she's got a server, but she doesn't know if she wants to give it up or not. But you see what we're saying. And so for this module, really the whole idea is to open your eyes up, kind of give you a prep on what the rules of the road are.
Know what your requirements truly are.
Right.
Not what you think they are.
And then what we're asking you guys to do is, for the assignment for this discussion board, is to go out, find out what what the rules are that you're engaging under, and go ahead and just write it up in a real quick memo to us, and drop it off at PE100 at aecm.solutions. And just that way we can kind of get a feel from you guys as to what you're up against. If we see anything that kind of sticks out to us, we can kind of send you back some notes, give you some things to think about that you may want to research further. But the bottom line is, we're trying to get you guys to understand what the document retention process for your company is.
And that you truly do know what it is, not what somebody told you or what you think it might be.
Exactly. So, and here again, we're saying this is not to make you guys into lawyers, and we want to stipulate more than once here. First of all, if you see a legal issue that's popping up, or you feel a bit cautious about something, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that you need to take action. You need to go to your supervisor and really discuss that issue.
Yeah, you need to move it up the ladder.
Yeah, don't be scared to move it up, because you're gonna want an attorney or somebody of those upper echelons of business law and etiquette in there, and not yourself, because you're a project engineer. You're doing the right job. If you've been following the professionality that we've kind of outlined here, you're going to be in a very, very safe position, and you're going to document it, everything that attorney needs to resolve an issue for you.
And again, Bob and I are not attorneys, and we're not offering legal advice.
No,
So
not at all.
understand that, and we'll put that disclaimer up front before the video
Right.
as well. But
Exactly.
so
But nonetheless, just think about it and drop us these when you get done with the discussion board and you've thought it out and you figured out what your deals are, send them to us and we'll come back and give you some feedback.
Right.
So hope you have a good time and
Thank you.
Congratulations, you guys are almost finished with this darn communication class. And I'm sure you didn't think it was going to be as thorough as it has been, but I hope you've gained a lot from it.
Yep.
So we wish you the best and we'll talk to you soon.